What is going on YouTube? This is another video coming at you from Redskins Rant. Hail to the Redskins. Before we get started, please like, share, and subscribe. I have two videos going up today. One is a draft prediction, where I predict kind of where the Redskins can kind of get players, and I did. It's pretty cool. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's called Redskins Draft Prediction. This is a video I'm replying to some comments. The only thing we've really had lately is we haven't had a lot of content when it comes to the Redskins. All we've had is like draft or free agency and like draft rumors. That's all we've really had. So I want to talk about some comments that were made by DeAngelo Halls on, I think it was like Saturday or Sunday, about Dwayne Haskins starting. So here we go. Basically what was said is DeAngelo Halls doesn't think that that Dwayne Haskins will be starting by the end of the season. Or will be starting, or whatever the case may be. Just paraphrasing. I mean, if you want me to look at the quote, I guess I can. But basically said Dwayne Haskins isn't going to be starting. I'm going to clear up what I believe is going on with the Redskins. This is the reason why the Redskins went and traded the 5th pick to get Kyle Allen from the Panthers. The reason why is because it looks like we're not going to have that many OTAs and mini camps. Okay, we're going to have our preseason, and then we're going to have the season. It's what it's looking like, at least so far. So you got to think of it like from Ron Rivera. Okay, do I want to bring in 2 quarterbacks that I got to teach the system to? They got to learn the system, and then so that they both kind of can learn the system on equal footing. I'm going to have to split snaps with each one of them. So do I really want to do that, or do I want to like bring in someone who knows the offense that I don't have to teach anything to? They kind of know it. They're there, and I can focus all my attention on our quarterback, who's our franchise quarterback. I think it's the latter. I think that makes the most sense. Is the latter. That Ron Rivera straight up was like, listen, I can bring in Jameis Winston and I can have him, kind of go tit for tat and really compete with Dwayne Haskins and mess with Dwayne Haskins' psyche and mess with his confidence, whatever. And I have to teach both of them the offense. And I know Kyle Allen knows the offense enough to run it for an entire season. I don't think Jameis Winston's going to learn the offense quick enough. No quicker than Dwayne Haskins can learn it. So the reason why he brought in Kyle Allen was because he knows the offense. He doesn't have to come in. He doesn't have to focus a lot of attention. Doesn't have to focus a lot of his coaching staff's attention on making sure Kyle Allen knows the offense. He already knows the offense. He already learned it because he played for, who's the coach's name? Not Norv Turner, Steven Turner in Carolina. So he already knows the offense. So the focus on the part of Steven Turner is not going to be, okay, I got 2 quarterbacks, got to teach his offense too. No, the court focus is going to be, okay, Dwayne, you have my 100% undivided attention. I need to teach you this offense and you make sure you can learn it. So you can get a majority of the snaps to make sure that you know this offense. And Kyle Allen, I'm going to give you some snaps just to make sure you get a refresher and you get some live action to just make sure it's fresh in your mind. But that is what the intention of the bringing in Kyle Allen was for. That was what the intention was for. The intention was to give the Redskins a quarterback who already knows the offense that they don't have to focus any attention on. No attention on. That's like in the last few years, like Colt McCoy's known the offense, and we've had Alex Smith, we've had Dwayne Haskins, we've had even last year with Case Keenum. We knew who knew the offense and who didn't. Colt McCoy already knew it. He's been here for years. So we didn't have to worry about showing him the offense. So he doesn't have to need a bulk of reps other than to get familiarity and chemistry, which, you can get that, and that's also something that's important. But I think it's more important right now to have our our starting quarterback comfortable with the fact, like, okay, this is my team. I'm going to start. I'm going to commit all my time towards a coach that I know believes in me. That's what the importance was. And in the same breath, you had all the coaches be like, listen, okay, we need a quarterback that can back him up, but we also want to bring in a quarterback that's going to, rattle his cage and rattle his confidence. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, well, we should have, because if he can't handle a little bit of competition, why is he a starter? That's not the case. Okay, if he was like, okay, for example, this has been a better argument. Is whenever we draft, this is the same exact thing that happened whenever we drafted RG3 and then we drafted Kirk Cousins right behind him. We literally drafted a quarterback that was adequate enough to replace him. So the entire time he's looking over his shoulder. And then when he got injured, it was more apparent that he tries to like make all these banger bust plays rather than just being an efficient quarterback. And then then the equivalent of this as well is if we like moved on to Kirk and then we drafted his replacement right after we said you're our starting quarterback. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for the Washington Redskins to do that right now. In the past, we've done that. We've decided we want to mess with players. We want to get in their heads. We want to mess with their minds. This is a way of not doing that. Okay, did the Carolina Panthers under Ron Rivera ever draft a quarterback that you thought like that could be Cam Newton's replacement this year or any year or whatever the case would be? No, kind of if you want to think about it. When they drafted a kid out of WVU, you could have said that, but he didn't end up starting. He might have been hurt, I don't know, but he didn't end up starting. Kyle Allen ended up starting, so you can't even say that. So that'd been like if they took that kid's name, and I cannot think of his name right now. I gotta look that up because that's gonna eat me alive. Give me 1 second. QBs. It's eating me alive that I don't know that guy's name. Will Greer. There we go. So Will Greer. That'd be like the equivalent of this. They didn't tell us to Will Greer, but let's say they said, Will Greer, you're a franchise quarterback, man. We drafted you 3rd round last year, 4th round, whatever it was. You're a franchise quarterback, so you better be prepared. And then they signed Teddy Bridgewater to come in and compete, but they gave him more money, and they gave him a lot of money and everything. So it's really close to what what happened with Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow gets the team to the playoffs, wins the playoff game against the Steelers in amazing fashion, and then the very next year they go and get Peyton Manning. I'm not saying that it's not the same. It's not quite the same thing, but it's kind of like misleading whenever you say we put our faith in you, and then we go sign someone that's going to replace you and is as good or talented or better than you talent-wise. Kyle Allen is not more talented than Dwayne Haskins. He knows the offense, so you don't have to teach it to him. The coach knows his work ethic, so he doesn't have to worry about this. It basically is a peace of mind that we have a guy who knows the offense that we don't have to teach it to. We can focus all of our attention on a really good quarterback that we drafted that we need to make sure this year we need to see if he is the guy. If not, we're gonna have to look for one next year because if he's not the guy, we're probably gonna have a low draft pick. So I think that's my interpretation of what all this is. That's the interpretation of what the Washington Redskins were thinking. Without a lot of time to actually, be able to train somebody on the new offense, the best thing you can do is make it so you don't have to split your attention on 2 different people to teach the offense to. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of people you got to teach offense to with like linemen and running backs and receivers. But the best option is to have a quarterback that already knows the offense. That way, if something happens, you can come in and you have to focus your attention on teaching this guy the offense. Last year, what happened with Haskins was basically was told you're not going to start. You don't plan on starting this year. So Haskins doesn't learn the offense. Then he has to play, and now he doesn't know the offense, so he wasn't prepared. That's part of his fault, but it's also part of the coaching. The coaching should have had him prepared every week to be the backup. And you can say what you want about Jay Gruden, but there's some good things about Jay Gruden, some bad things, and that was one of the bad things about Jay Gruden. Jay Gruden had some huge character flaws, and one of them was if the player wasn't what he needed them to be in that moment that he always needed them, he didn't care about them, and that's one of the biggest issues with that I had with Jay Gruden. But he latched on to some players that were never good players. He latched on to Colt McCoy, who had one good season or one good game with the Redskins against Dallas. And he latched onto that, and he never let it go. He never moved on from it, and never whatever the case may be. So I'm not going to get too much into Jay Gruden. He's gone. He's part of the past. We're looking to the future. But Haskins, the focus needs to be this year, and it wasn't focused on him last year. This is why. You got to think, Ron Rivera is looking at this from a historical perspective. How was he treated last year? How will we be treating him this year? Last year, it was not a competition. They didn't even give him a chance. They didn't give him a chance to start. I think that's something right there. Okay. They did not give him a chance to start. They straight up put in Case Keenum, and Case Keenum and Colt McCoy pretty much competed for the starting position, so to speak. I mean, Colt might have been injured, I don't know. But basically, those two competed for the starting position, and Dwayne Haskins was pretty much given the short end of the stick, even though it was a first-round pick. And Jay Gruden didn't care because, he tried to win now to retain his job rather than trying to make sure he gets his rookie quarterback prepared for the next coach available, which, fair enough to him, it's not his responsibility. His job is to win now. But that's pretty much how I'm looking at it. You may disagree. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. But just look at it from that perspective, what the coaching staff needs, especially with the pandemic we have right now. It definitely seems like more feasible, but that's the reasoning why. Because now, with a shorter amount of time, we don't have to focus on splitting our attention with two quarterbacks. We focus on one quarterback, get all of our attention, and get him acclimated to the offense and have a great understanding of it by opening week. So that's a video. It's about 10 minutes of explaining. Might have been a little over-explained there, and I think I reiterated myself a couple times, but definitely think that's the reasoning behind it. I don't think there's any other motives behind getting a quarterback other than the fact that he's familiar and you'll like him. So this is Redskins Rant. This is JD. Please like, share, subscribe to and hit the notification bell. You get all my videos. And then like the video and then comment. Why do you think that we went and signed Kyle Allen? What do you think we should have done differently? What other content do you want me to talk about with the Washington Redskins? I could do one where I can predict where I think Trent will go. I can do one where I can kind of point out why Trent isn't gone yet. I can do a bunch of those. I actually might do that one, but just let me know in the comment section down below what you think we should do. So, hail to the Redskins. See you.